Hello, and welcome to the Fall 2019 update for Kansans Can Redesign. My name is Tammy Mitchell, and I am the Elementary Redesign Specialist. And today I have my colleague here.
Hi, my name is Sarah Perryman, and I'm the Redesign Coordinator here at KSDE. In 2015, the Kansas Board of Education set the vision that Kansas would lead the world in the success of each student. This is the vision that we try to keep at the forefront of everything that we do. As schools redesign, we're helping schools think about how they can better serve their students so that each student leaves a successful Kansas graduate.
Our project has grown over the last 2 years. We have our Mercury schools and our Gemini 1 schools. They were part of that first cohort. Many of them are cruising into their second launch year. We have Gemini 1 and Gemini 2 schools. We call them the L2 schools, the second group to launch, and they have launched their redesign plans this fall. And then we also have the Apollo schools who are just starting their regional training. So we have gone from the Mercury and Geminis to currently we've got 66 districts and around 150 schools that are growing through Kansans Can Redesign. And so here we go. Mercury, Gemini 1, Gemini 2, Apollo. We're going to show you some tweets and highlights of where each of these cohorts are today in September of 2019. But you can see that we are making progress towards that moonshot, that vision that Kansas leads the world. But we still have a little ways to go.
As schools redesign, we ask them to think about how they can change what they do with students to meet these 4 redesign principles. So when schools go about redesigning, everything they do is centered around adhering to these 4 principles. The first principle is student success skills, which is integrating that social emotional learning into the classroom. The second principle is creating strong family, business, and community partnerships, and not just relationships that are beneficial, but that are also collaborative. The third principle is personalized learning. So in Kansas, we believe that teachers should give students choice and voice over time, place, pace, and path when it comes to their learning. And then the last principle is real-world application. So engaging in project-based learning, internships, and helping students learn how to be civically engaged. So these are our 4 principles, and you'll notice that they also align to our board outcomes.
So what's exciting about personalized learning is that this fall, in October, at the annual conference, we will be unveiling an official definition of personalized learning. And we're really excited to do this because I think when teachers see this definition of personalized learning, they will see that they are already doing some phenomenal things to personalize for their students, but there will also be some kind of stretch goals embedded in that definition. And so moving forward, all of our training on personalized learning will use this definition as a foundation. So stay tuned.
So not only will we have a definition, but we'll also have a graphic to accompany that definition. And as Tammy said, we'll roll out some PD around the topic as well.
So I wanted to talk just a little bit about the diffusion of innovations. So this is a common theory, and we wanted to apply this to how redesign is spreading. Because if you'll remember, we started with the Mercury, 14 schools, 7 districts, but the goal is to redesign 286 school districts. Right now, we're at 66 districts. That's 23% of the districts in our state. And so you can see that our Mercury schools were those innovators, and some of our Gemini 1s. We've got Gemini 1s and Gemini 2s and now Apollos. So we're starting to creep into that early majority. And so that's really exciting. It's right on pace with where we thought we would be. But we anticipate, just as you see here, that in the next year or 2, that early majority number is really going to skyrocket. No pun intended. But this is how change happens in schools. And so some of you may have heard of the Mercury projects here in Kansas and maybe even heard some of their challenges. But this shows that whenever innovation happens, whether it's in education or in business and industry, those early developers are the ones that really create and hammer out what needs to happen. They work the bugs out of the system. And then as the early majority and the late majority join on, you can see that the process becomes more refined, and the pathway to whatever that innovation is becomes a little bit smoother. And we're seeing that play out accurately in our Kansans Can Redesign project. The Mercury and Gemini 1s really helped to hammer out some of the bugs. Our regional trainings are going really, really well, and the Apollos are benefiting from that. And so moving forward, there will be a clear pathway on how you go about redesigning your school, redesigning your system to lead the world. And so I just wanted to show you some Twitter highlights. These were all taken this first part of September, just to show you what schools are doing. And so from Mercury, the Maverick Meadowlark students in Liberal are enjoying their new makerspace activities. This is a kindergarten classroom, and they are expanding their makerspace for this year. You can see USD 271, Stockton Schools. They are a K-12 or pre-K-12 district that's redesigning. They are advertising their community ed camp. And so that's how they're going to engage parents and other stakeholders. The parents get to choose the topics. They're going to be talking about some Title I topics. Childcare is provided. And so one thing about redesign is that it has really pushed schools to think differently about parent communication. It's not a one-way communication. It's how are they gathering feedback from parents and other stakeholders to help inform their not only just their redesign, but really the way they do school. Gemini 1 schools, we've got the Beloit Trojans. They are enjoying their new 3D printers and their STEM. If you've not been to Beloit to see the amazing things that they do with project-based learning at the elementary, middle, and high school levels, that would be worth a road trip. They are doing some phenomenal things. They're well established, and this year, the second year of their launch, they are refining what they're doing, and they're really starting to see some really interesting student data. Out in Dighton High School, they just posted a picture of some science that they're doing. They're starting off the year, they're learning, they're collaborating, they're creating. Dighton also would be definitely worth the road trip out west to see what they're doing with project-based learning, elementary, middle, and high school. Gemini 2. We've got Cessna Elementary School in Wichita. They are just starting their redesign plan. So you can see the kids are excited. They're starting to practice some of their soft skills. In this one, they were practicing respect. And then Garfield Elementary and Clay Center. This really shows you, it's their brochure that they tweeted of what they're doing to address all 4 redesign principles. So if you're looking for an elementary road trip, they are not quite ready. We ask that schools don't visit the Gemini 2s until January, but starting in January, this cohort will be open as demonstration sites. And then what's really exciting is to just see where Apollo is. Apollo, the schools in Apollo are not shy about speaking up and tweeting about what they're doing. And so I had the opportunity to hear Harrington present a little bit at the Kansas MTSS Symposium on some of their social emotional learning work. They actually started it a year ago, but they were already seeing some amazing results, amazing student results. So super proud that Apollos are willing to stand up and speak out. And then the picture on the right, we wanted to show so that you can see what regional training looks like. So here at Greenbush North and Lawrence, these tables represent schools of school redesign teams, and they come together once a month at a regional Education Service Center, and our partners at the Service Center and our KSDE staff work together to provide training and practice opportunities to these school redesign teams so that they can learn together, and they can learn from each other and collaborate with other districts. And then the people in this meeting have the responsibility of going back to their home school and turnkeying all of the information and the activities with all of the staff. And so that has worked out really, really well to make sure that, even staff that aren't able to attend the regional trainings know exactly what's going on, they know how decisions are being made, and they have a voice, a very strong voice in the redesign process. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Sarah, about regional trainings?
Just that we're very excited about these regional trainings. We have a lot of schools that are coming prepared to work hard and taking that information back to their schools. I saw just the other day that one of the elementary schools in Hutchinson was turnkeying that activity and taking it back. And so not only are the schools impacted when they attend, but schools are impacted after when those teams go back and really make these activities meaningful for their staff.
So the other big improvement we've made through our regional trainings is that they're fun. I mean, redesign is hard work, and there's plenty to do, but it doesn't have to be grueling. It can be a lot of fun, too, and it's fun to get colleagues together and just see the relationships that develop between the different districts.
So Tammy just shared a lot of examples of redesigned schools doing great things across our state, and you can come and hear all about what they're doing at our pre-conference on October 28th. So the annual KSD conference is October 28th, 29th, and 30th in Wichita. You can register using the events link on this slide, but the Pre-conference day, October 28th, is dedicated exclusively to redesign, and we're really excited to share the presentations that we have for you. So this is a sneak peek of what you can experience on that pre-conference day. So we'll have 4 breakout sessions with 7 presenters during each breakout. We have schools from Mercury up through Gemini 2 who will be there to share with you what they are doing with their redesign. We also have outside experts coming to talk as well. So our presentations really center around those 4 redesign principles, and you'll not only hear from field experts, but you'll also hear from redesign school experts who've successfully implemented these principles into their school. And as Tammy mentioned earlier, we'll also roll out the Kansas definition of personalized learning, and you can get your first PD experience with that at this pre-conference.
So follow us at KSDE Redesign. We've got exciting tweets all the time. Schools are excited. They're tagging us when they have great things going on. So if you want to learn more about redesign from those that are actually redesigning, attending the conference, reaching out to them, and then following us on Twitter is a great way to do that. If you have any further questions or you're curious about redesign, please email us at this email, redesign@ksde.org.
Thank you for your time today, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future.